Hello, welcome to this channel. This channel is basically intended for personal well-being, purpose, prosperity. And what I mean by personal well-being is everything from mental and physical health to social connections, to work, business, finance, everything down to your diet, exercise, which obviously fits into mental and physical well-being or health. And the idea of this channel is to basically help bring other people up, people that might not be doing so great, or people that are doing good and still looking for other bits of knowledge. So the first thing I want to talk about is goals. Having goals, setting goals, when to set goals, what goals to set. And I think this is important because it helps anchor us into the future instead of thinking about the past and past experiences, which I'm a sucker for. I really am. I have had spirals where I think about the past and I get in my head about all these things that could have been and should have been, but I think it's better for us to look to the future, and one of the best ways to do that is to have goals. So setting goals daily, monthly, quarterly, yearly are all good times to have goals set. And daily goals could be something like, so for me, I like to have completed things around the house, like chores, washing, ironing, cleaning. I like to make sure that my room is tidy and that the rest of my house is tidy. Other goals I like to have are meeting up with friends, meeting with family, and relationships is something that's very important, and we'll get to that a little bit later down the video. In addition to goals, I think a very close relative of goals is purposes. Having purpose is kind of like the driving force to why anyone lives their life. They're almost like reasons to why we do stuff. Purposes, I think come naturally, and people already know their purposes. If you sit there and ask yourself, oh, what's my purpose? Well, it's probably what you're already doing, or what you're at least working towards. And someone's purpose could be like a typical man of the house will go to work, provide for his family, put food on the table. That's his purpose. But we all kind of know our purposes, and I think purposes and goals are driving forces in people's lives. Now, money makes a whole lot easier. Money makes things easier. Money gives us security, and honestly, money makes us feel comfortable. Being able to pay for bills, having the opportunity to buy things. And that's why I think budgeting is very important. Budgeting and making sure that things are accounted for. It's something that we're not accustomed to, having a budget and tracking expenses. And we don't know, we're not taught, what do we do if something goes wrong on a certain day, or if there's a unexpected expense. It's something that I think should definitely be learned by everyone. Again, I used to be so poor at dealing with my finances, and there are things in the world that they're almost like traps, and they will entice you to spend your money. We live in the day and age where it's so easy to spend money. It's easy to spend money. We get marketed to so well because they play on the exact things that humans desire. I mean, when we have a dream fulfilled or a pain is healed, people just go crazy for that stuff. It rhymes because it's true. People want their dream life, their desired reality, and people will pay for that stuff. I definitely am a sucker to that sometimes. Moving on from finances, above that we have mental and physical well-being, health in general, and I think that comes above money. It sounds cliche, but in fact it doesn't sound cliche. I've realised that I'm good for nothing, I'm good for no one if I can't work, if I can't provide value, if I can't exchange my energy for money. So health is so important. In fact, Gary Vaynerchuk puts it really good. Gary V, for anyone that doesn't know, is a multi-millionaire. He's a very successful entrepreneur, and an interviewer asks him, why is health so important in business? And he takes the extremity on this, but his reply is, well, how do you run a business if you're dead? And he couldn't be more right. He really couldn't. And so if you're ill, if you're sick, if you're off for a day, if you're off for 2 days, if you've broken a bone and you're off for 3 months, then how are you supposed to do anything? You can't. You're spending your energy and your time on recovering. So health mentally and physically, very, very important. Mental well-being is something that I would even place above physical well-being, because if your mind's not right, then you could have the healthiest body. If you're a nutcase, then you're just no good to society. Not many of you are going to be watching this, but for the few that do, let me know if one, you like the content. Two, if you didn't already know, you won't, but I'm a car enthusiast, and so I thought, what better way to start this channel with me in the car. Not all of them are going to be in the car. I want to have like a vlog style channel where I'm in my kitchen cooking, or I'm going on a road trip, or I'm flying to another country and you guys are all going to be with me enjoying the journey. I want to be able to enlighten people to see that life is always better than you think. Even if you're living an absolutely wonderful life, that's great. There's always room for improvement. I think if a person has a growth mindset, then there is no failure. They cannot fail, because they're always looking for the next success. They're always looking for the next, looking to achieve the next goal. It's like the same thing. Also, for people that aren't doing so great, I understand that if a person really is in a bad place, then they don't always have the energy, the courage, the discipline, the motivation to bring themselves out of it. So I want this channel to also be a place where a person can come to feel okay, maybe get a bit happier, and be surrounded by good energy. Hopefully we get a good fan base. I just want to bring people up. Just want to bring people up. That's pretty much my motive for this channel. It's getting a bit dark. I don't know how well you can see me, guys. I'm gonna put this on. Hopefully that doesn't affect it too badly. Something I also think is incredibly essential is learning, having knowledge. Now, knowledge is power. It's a very common saying, but I would argue it's almost useless unless the additional word of applied knowledge is power is in there. And knowledge is only so good as it is used. I could be a banker. I could have gone to college, uni, got a degree in banking. If I'd never got a job, it would be good for nothing. And so I think that applied knowledge is power. I mean, I know how to drive a car, and so I have power over this car. If I didn't drive, if I didn't have a car and I never drove, then my knowledge would be useless until it is applied. So learning, I think once we come out of education, like university, college, even school, a lot of us just stop studying, we stop learning. Now there is a difference between learning and truly understanding something and just memorizing information. Because I believe that in schools we just memorize information to then regurgitate onto a piece of paper, and if they say yes, you can regurgitate that well, then you get high marks. Learning is actually the ability to understand something, understand the concept of what is being taught. So yeah, pick up a book. You can learn from books, you can learn from YouTube videos. I prefer books. A good friend of mine actually said that books are probably more trusted sources because the energy it takes for a person to publish a book is a lot more than someone creating a YouTube video. And they couldn't be more right. It's so easy to create a YouTube video. A lot of the time people are just creating content for the sake of creating content, whereas a publisher or an author is actually looking to share their experiences wholeheartedly because that's what they truly believe is right. So books, still YouTube videos, sure. It's definitely a skill to decipher between what's good information, what's bad information. Courses in classrooms or online, having a mentor is good. But yeah, I would strongly recommend just picking up a book, any book. You can get books for free these days, if not silly cheap, online, and just start reading. Lastly, before I close off this video, I want to talk about having meaningful relationships and connections, networking. Networking is obviously great in the world of business for people that are very successful and have high drives. But on a more personal level, I think it's good to have meaningful relationships because what's the saying? Tell me your friends, I'll tell you your future. And the man that quoted that went into further detail saying, if there's 4 of you that are a millionaire, you're going to be the 5th millionaire. If there's 4 of you that buy a house, you're going to be the 5th to buy a house. If there's 4 of you that smoke, you might be the 5th to smoke. If there's 4 of you that buy a dog, you see where I'm going. So I think that having a good circle around you is very important, and having, and that could be friends, that could be family, it could be colleagues, any acquaintance, any person that's always that's with you daily or weekly. They're the people that you want to be conscious of having around. It can almost compound a person's success. It can accelerate a person's success because of the good company that they're in. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm going to head inside this shop. I'm going shopping. I'll get myself some dinner. So yeah, see you all in the next video. Take care.